The question is more on the sort of supply side in terms of what opportunities does this create for LNG exporting countries? An example of that being Australia. So I think there's probably a few ways to think about this, but I think the first one is LNG supply nations, including Australia, I think has a unique opportunity to contribute to progress on global decarbonisation. And that's not only sustaining but expanding LNG production to enable that to happen. I think sufficient supply of LNG will be one of the key factors in the ability for the focus countries and even those more broadly in Asia to pursue the balanced case decarbonisation pathways that Alan sort of described. And I think, and it's important to kind of, in that context, thinking about it from the point of view of systems decarbonisation as opposed to kind of national myopic kind of perspectives on this. I think also with LNG's 47% average lower life cycle carbon intensity compared to coal, I think LNG exports can certainly enable immediate emissions reductions across Asia while supporting renewable energy integration and expansion. And I think this then can all be enabled by sort of three things. One of those being the establishment of regulatory certainty that supports timely project investment and development. When we think about the timelines we're talking about here and phasing out coal over the next decade, that becomes quite important when you think about the ability to kind of provide that supply and enable that to happen and the support of renewable expansion. I think then investment and expansion of LNG production capacity to meet that demand is going to be important. And then I think the third thing is the establishment of policies that recognise the role of LNG in reducing regional emissions. Again, back to this point that national targets and approaches are important to show ambition, but I think it does need to take a sort of a more of a systems consideration here when we think about emissions reductions and how that's achieved in the energy system.